Well, friends, welcome back to the Created to Thrive podcast. This is episode number 46, and I am going to be talking today about questions to ask yourself to really start helping you thrive today. And I'm going to use this like a little mini coaching session for you. So I'm going to be asking you questions that you can then really stop and take some time to really evaluate this so you can make sure that you are going in the direction that you want. So grab a pen and paper today. I will have these questions in the show notes. So if you're driving or exercising and can't write these down, no worries. I've got you covered. I will have those in the show notes. And also, I am going to be doing a live workshop because my desire is to help people live in God's best. And I'm going to have a live workshop to really help you in that process and answer questions as well. I will also have this in the show notes, but the link will be at loriksnyder.com. So check that out, sign up for that, and I will let you know when the next live workshop's going to be. All right, let's get ready. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you are looking for more faith-based podcasts but don't know where to go, then check out the Access More Podcast Network, which has over 40 shows on topics like religion, culture, family, entertainment, and more. With podcasts from Christian thought leaders such as Christine Caine, Lisa Harper, Torrin Wells, and Bob Goff, Access More gives you a safe space to discover inspiring conversations about faith. If you're a fan of this show, you will find encouragement, hope, and joy from the podcast on Access More. Start listening today at accessmore.com. All right, friends, today I want to do just kind of a mini coaching session with you because I've been talking to so many people that are in a kind of an unknown season, not quite sure what's next, know that they're transitioning into something, but not quite aware yet of what that is. So I just thought it'd be fun just to give you some questions to ask yourself that I do for myself personally throughout the year to make sure I'm on track and really just self-awareness, because a lot of times we don't even recognize where we're at. So grab a pen and paper and here we go. First thing, you're going to ask yourself these questions for these different categories in your life. So first of all, personally. And you're going to look at physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, looking at your hobbies, looking at really just everything that relates to you personally. The next category you're going to have is your relationships, whether that is with a spouse, with children, with parents, siblings, friends, work relationships, church, whatever groups you're in, looking at all of your various relationships. And then you're going to look at your professional, business, or career category. So really those three things, and you can do more if you have more, but those are kind of, everything kind of really falls into what I have found, those three: personally, relationally, and then professionally. So the first question you're going to ask yourself is, what's working? What's working well? And write everything down for those three categories, as much detail as you can find. What is currently working? What's going right? What do you feel good about? And then you're going to ask yourself, what's not working? Are there doors that just seem to be closing right now, or that are closed, and roadblocks you're having? Or you're striving and you're not seeing any good fruit, I should say. You're just feel like you're spinning your wheels. You're stuck. What's not working? Then you're going to write down, what's the next step? What do I feel the next step would be in that particular category or that situation? Then, what's motivating you, or what energizes you? What makes you feel alive and excited? Like for me personally, I love helping people. I find value in helping people, but I also want to steward my gifts well. And I know that that is something that God has put in me, and I thrive when I'm helping other people. But I also know that I have to have boundaries because I can give out too much. And if I am not being filled, I can easily get depleted. So that would be the next question. What depletes you? What takes your energy away? Like for me, it's administration. Any type of paperwork, task-oriented stuff. I'm a very creative person. And I recognize that when I've been doing too much task-oriented projects, I get depleted. So I have to put that down, and then I have to go create. I have to go paint. Like recently, I started painting some acrylic paintings for my sons because they're getting their first college apartment, and they want their walls to be filled with artwork, and they're on a budget. So I am helping them create artwork. That to me is a creative outlet that makes me feel good. It energizes me. It motivates me because I'm helping them. I'm also using my gifts, and that helps me then be able to take a break from the administrative things, the things that I don't really love doing but need to. And so there's a balance there. Make sense? The next question you ask is, what do you know about God in that situation? You may not particularly like something that's happening, but do you sense God is in it? Or are you staying in something that you really shouldn't be because you feel obligated by people or pressured by people that you should do it, but really God's not in it? That grace is not there. And I talk about if that grace is there, that's God's enabling power. That's his ease of doing something. Even if it's not easy, there's like an oil on it, like an ease where it is manageable for you. And you know that it's God working in it through you and with you. But when there's no grace there, it's really hard. So recognizing, where is God in that situation? The next question, what season are you in? You know, I grew up on acreage, and we had a farm, and you didn't do anything, and it was in Michigan. So in the wintertime, you did not go till the soil. You did not plant anything. It was a season of rest. Likewise, where are you at in your life? I know a lot of people right now are in really a season where they're being challenged to really rest. And that doesn't mean you don't do anything. That means you're in this season of planning, of really seeking the Lord first to find out, what is he trying to show you? What is he wanting to have you do right now or not do? To abide in him. And so recognizing, what season are you in? You know, for me, I am in a season of, I'm really starting, because I've transitioned from being a stay-at-home mom now into really going full-time into my ministry, business, you know, all of that. And I'm preparing to have online courses because I know that God has put in me to teach the Word of God and to be able to do it in a way that helps people activate that in their life with biblical principles and mindsets to where they're going to see that overflow of God in every aspect of life. So I'm really in a season of doing a lot of behind the scenes work, and it can be busy. So I also have to recognize, I need to take time to really rest for me. All right. So those are some questions to recognize, you know, what season you're in and how it's working for you, but also, what do you want? And I think a lot of times Christians have been taught, you be careful of those desires of your heart because they're going to be, you know, of the flesh and lustful thoughts and desires and all of that. Well, yes, that can be true, but really, as I've taught before, Jesus never asked anyone what they needed, but he would ask them, what do you want? What do you see? What do you have vision for? And recently I met with my mentor, and the first question he asked me was, Lori, what's your vision? Now, that's a very broad question. And I laughed and I said, my vision for my life, vision for my marriage, vision for my ministry, my business. What exactly are you asking? And that just started into a deep dive question of, again, what do I see? But in order to know what I can see, can I visualize, I have to know, what do I really want? What has God put in me that I want to steward well? And I'm going to be talking more about that in the future, about how do you get vision? What's that really look like? And how do I apply that to my life? But today, for the sake of time, I just wanted to do a mini coaching session with you to have you ask these series of questions. And again, looking at it from a personal standpoint, physically, do you need to exercise more? What's working for you for exercise, diet, mental health? We have so much mental health awareness right now, but what's working for you? What are you doing right now that's helping you? And then what's not? Emotionally. And a lot of times what I try to do is pay attention to my physical body. Now, change happens from the inside out, but a lot of times we've got to recognize the exterior or the external environment to recognize what's really happening on the inside. So a lot of times I pay attention to what's going on in my body right now. How am I feeling? And where am I at right now am I under stress? Am I taking too much on? What are my thoughts? I've got to manage my thought life. I've got to take those thoughts captive and say, wait a minute, is this in alignment of where I want to go? Am I allowing people to rent space in my brain? And I get very cautious of how much time I spend on social media. I don't watch the news, but any type of sources that are negatively affecting my emotions, I'm going to feel that in my body, usually at first. And so dialing it down and going deeper, and then really going into the deeper spiritual part. Am I really connecting with God? Am I just reading the Bible to have my daily devotion so I can check that off the list? Or am I really connecting with the Lord? And right now I'm in a season of really being very intentional to spend time with Him, to hear Him more than I'm speaking, and really asking Him questions, being in the Word and asking Him questions, dialoguing with Him. And I'm going to have my next episode, I'm going to have talking about guarding your heart and not letting your heart get troubled during troubling times. Because a lot of times we don't recognize, okay, wait a minute, I'm anxious. And the Bible says I'm not to be anxious about anything. So why am I anxious? I've got to look at my thoughts. I've got to look at what's coming in my eye gates, my ear gates, and what's coming out of my mouth. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So I'm really dialing into the Word to really talk to the Lord about putting myself in His story, and how does that relate to me right now and in my relationships, and how can I help other people if I am not getting cared for by the Lord personally. I don't look for other people. I don't look to my husband to meet that need or any other relationship. It has to be in that personal relationship with Jesus, because He is to be my best friend. He's my counselor, my helper, my teacher. And so I really have to get filled up from Him. He is the way, the truth, the life, His love for me. So I'm not looking for it in all the wrong places from other people or what I do. It's being still to get filled up so then I can go do. All right. So I hope this has helped you today. I would love to have any comments or questions, feedback from you. That really helps me know how I can help serve you the best. So I would love for you to email me, lori@loriksnyder.com. Ask me questions. Is there something today that I said that you're not quite sure about, that you want more information on? Do you want help with, what do I really how do I study the word like I just talked about, and asking the Lord questions? How do I dialogue, and how do I take the word and apply it to myself? Those are the type of questions I love to have and answer, and then also know what things you're struggling with. So leave me an email, Lori@LoriKSnyder.com, or you can DM me on social media, Instagram or Facebook at Lori K, and that's spelled K-A-Y, Lorikay Snyder, Snyder. And I'll have that all in the show notes. So, all right, friends, I pray that you will just really see God in a new and fresh way, and that He will surprise you with something that is just amazing from Him today. So you will know how much you are loved and cared for by Him.